Hi, my name is Layla Kelly, and I'm an educator in a public school in South Carolina. This is my first year teaching in South Carolina. I'm a high school Spanish teacher. My last 9 years, I taught in North Carolina. And there are certain things that I'll be talking about in this, particularly dispositions that I feel I have and already possess as an educator, and that are my strong points, and then going over any dispositions that I think I need to work on and grow with. As we all are lifelong learners and have things to learn, and then just talk about what a professional educator actually looks like. So, first of all, going into like the dispositions that I do have, honesty is a big one that I do have. That means like with my students, being honest with them. So if I tell them they're going to face a consequence for something, making sure I go and do that. Or if I'm going to have something available to them, like a bonus activity or some other fun activity, I want to make sure that I do have that available to them as well. Honesty can also look like not being scared to admit when you've made a mistake, and that does happen because I'm not perfect. So I know I have things I will need to, that I will make mistakes on and need to confess it. It can be just something as simple as a small mistake the on the PowerPoint, like when I'm giving notes to the students, or if I've messed up, overreacted to something, reacted poorly to something, and misinterpreted something, just being able to apologize for that and like acknowledge what I've done, and being able to move on from it and not think about it too much after, not make a big deal about it. Honesty can also be like not being scared to admit like if I don't know something, because we're all lifelong learners, and it can be stressful like on a teacher to think like they're supposed to know everything, and it's not the case. I mean, I'm a Spanish teacher, and well, English is my native tongue, and I don't even know every word in the English dictionary for that matter. Dispositions I know I need to work on is having high expectations for students. I know my expectations might be a little bit low. Sometimes I think I can be a bit too lenient. I'm trying to work on that, have more higher expectations, more holding students accountable, especially if they choose to work in groups on something, and um, work in groups. And I just want to make sure I have high expectations for that, to make sure all the students are doing their work instead of leaving someone else doing all the work while those who didn't do any work get the same grade, and that would be unfair on them. Um, Also, just need to work on being curious, and making sure to reflect always on things I can change in my teaching, and not get caught up in a comfort zone of, one thing seeming to work for me when it doesn't always work for all the students, and things go differently all the time, and times are changing, and like students' interests are different. So need to adapt with the times, to keep things according to the needs then, so they're not too outdated. As for what a professional educator looks like, well, that would be like how they dress, dressing in professional clothing that is neat, clean, no offensive messages on them, or any revealing clothing. If you choose to wear makeup, don't have it overly excessive. Make sure hair is well kept. No excessive perfume or any other fragrances. Um, Also, it can come to like how the person behaves too, though. If there's someone like me who looks kind of young, I definitely have to show it in how I behave as well as how I dress. So I'm not like, because I already get mistaken for being a student given how young I look. So I need to make sure I'm talking in a professional manner to my students and coworkers, so that they see me as the authority figure, and there's like a line that can't be crossed, between like students and teachers, because I don't want to give the impression I'm trying to be the student's friend. That's not how it's supposed to work. All right. And I mean, the main motivation for making sure to look professional is, well, for the sake of being respected. And that should be an important thing that, all educators want, but anybody for that matter. So it boils down to how you present yourself, both in dress and behavior. All right. Thank you.